From saver to investor, the roadmap nobody gave you. Let me paint a picture you might recognize. You've been doing everything right. Every paycheck, before you spend a single dollar on anything fun, you move a chunk into savings. $50, $150, whatever you can manage. And it feels great. Responsible. Like you finally cracked the adult code. Then, one afternoon, you're scrolling through your banking app and something catches your eye. You've got $10,000 sitting there. And in the past 12 months, that account has earned you $50? Meanwhile, your coworker won't stop talking about index funds. Your brother-in-law made gains on the S&P. Some guy in a podcast is rambling about compound interest, like it's the secret to immortality. And a quiet, uncomfortable question surfaces in your mind. Have I been doing this wrong the whole time? Here's the honest answer. Saving is not the destination. It's the launch pad. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step path to move from saving money to actually investing it without blowing up your financial safety net or losing sleep over market swings. I'm Jay, and if you've got money parked in a savings account but have no idea what comes next, stick around and hit subscribe. This one's for you. Let's get something important out of the way first. Saving money on its own will almost never build real wealth. That's not an opinion, it's arithmetic. Here's the thing people often miss. Saving and investing are not the same activity. They're not even trying to do the same job. Savings guard your money. Investments multiply your money. Completely different functions. Run the numbers and you'll see what I mean. $10,000 sitting in a savings account at 1% interest becomes $1,000 after a year. Fine, harmless, also nearly pointless. Now take that same 10 grand and put it in a broad market investment that mirrors the historical average of the S&P 500, roughly 10% annually over long periods. 1 year later, you've got $11,000. Still not jaw-dropping. But stretch that out 2 decades, your savings account path ends at around $2,200. Your investment path, roughly $67,000. Same money, same starting point. Wildly different endings. And here's the uncomfortable truth hiding inside those numbers. The financial gap that separates most people isn't between spenders and savers. It's between savers and investors. The person who diligently saves every month but never invests is running a race with no finish line. So why doesn't everyone just start investing? Why does the gap exist at all? It's not because people don't know the math. It's because of how investing feels. A savings account is calm, predictable. The number goes up, never down. You can check it at 2 a.m. and feel nothing but mild satisfaction. But an investment account? That thing has moods. It can drop 4% on a Tuesday for no obvious reason. It reacts to news cycles, interest rate whispers, and things happening in countries you've never visited. That unpredictability is emotionally exhausting for new investors. And it's the main reason so many people never make the leap. But making the leap doesn't mean jumping off a cliff with your eyes closed. It means crossing a bridge, one step at a time. Here's how that bridge is built. Step 1. Lock in a real emergency fund. Before a single dollar goes into any investment account, you need a financial cushion in straight cash. 3 to 6 months of your actual living expenses. Rent, groceries, utilities, transport, all of it. This money lives in savings permanently. It's not seed capital. It's not dry powder. It's your shield. Here's why this step matters more than people realize. The number one reason new investors panic and sell at the worst possible moment is that they needed the money for something else. A medical bill showed up. The car died. The job disappeared. Your emergency fund doesn't just protect your lifestyle. It protects your investment decisions from your own desperation. Step 2. Rewire how you think about your money. This sounds soft, but it's actually critical infrastructure for your financial mindset. Start thinking in 2 buckets. Bucket 1 is your safety money. It doesn't move. It doesn't chase returns. Its only job is to be there when life gets messy. Bucket 2 is your growth money. This bucket is allowed to fluctuate because fluctuation is the price of long-term gains. Growth money has a different mission, which means it operates by different rules. Once you truly internalize this separation, a lot of the anxiety around investing starts to dissolve. Market drops stop feeling like disasters and start feeling like turbulence. Uncomfortable, but expected. Step 3. Begin investing with small amounts. Here's a myth worth dismantling. You do not need a substantial sum of money to start investing. Most modern brokerage platforms will let you begin with $50 or even less. And honestly, starting small is a feature, not a limitation. Your first goal isn't returns. It's building the habit of investing consistently. Because the investor who puts in $100 every month for 30 years will almost always Outperform the person who waits until they have enough to start properly. Habits compound too, not just money. Step 4. Keep your strategy simple. This is where a lot of beginners go off the rails. They hear about investing, get excited, and immediately start researching day trading strategies, options chains, leveraged ETFs, or whichever cryptocurrency is trending that week. Resist it aggressively. The unsexy truth is that uncomplicated investments have a remarkably strong track record. Index funds, for example, are funds that mirror the performance of the broader stock market. Instead of placing a bet on one company, you're spreading your money across hundreds simultaneously. Lower concentration risk, built-in diversification, steady long-term growth. Warren Buffett, arguably the most studied investor alive, has said repeatedly that low-cost index funds are the smartest choice for the majority of everyday investors. When someone with his track record says, keep it simple, it's worth listening. The most powerful investing approach isn't a secret strategy, it's consistency. Here's a concrete illustration. Say you invest $300 every month. The market delivers an average annual return of 8%. After 25 years, you'd be sitting on approximately $285,000. But here's the part that stops people in their tracks. Your total personal contributions over those 25 years? $90,000. The remaining $195,000 was generated entirely by compound growth. Your money made more money than you did. That's not a trick. That's patience, expressed mathematically. Of course, the psychological side is still real. Markets fall, sometimes dramatically. Headlines scream. People in comment sections predict collapse. And in those moments, every instinct you have will whisper, get out. This is the exact moment discipline becomes the most valuable financial tool you own. Think about it this way. Keeping your savings in cash is like storing seeds in a sealed glass jar. They're perfectly safe, completely intact, and completely stagnant. Nothing happens. Nothing grows. Investing is planting those seeds. It's messier. For a while, it looks like nothing is happening, but underground roots are forming. And eventually, what emerges is something far larger and more valuable than the seeds you buried. Now, one more concern worth addressing head-on. What happens if the market crashes right after you start? This is one of the most common fears new investors carry, and it's built on a misunderstanding of how long-term investing actually works. Market downturns are not anomalies. They're scheduled interruptions in an overall upward journey. They've occurred repeatedly throughout history, and every single time, markets have eventually recovered and continued climbing. And here's the counterintuitive part. When markets fall, your regular monthly contributions buy more shares at reduced prices. When those markets recover, and historically, they always have, those cheaper shares are now worth significantly more. Experienced investors don't just endure downturns. They understand that downturns are doing them a favor. The mindset shift is simple but profound. Think in decades, not days. So let's bring it all together. Build your 3 to 6 month emergency fund first and keep it in cash. Then draw a clean mental line between your safety money and your growth money. Start contributing to investments regularly, even if the amounts feel small. Choose straightforward vehicles like index funds over complicated strategies. And then stay the course, let time pass, and let compounding do the heavy lifting. Because here's what it ultimately comes down to. Saving money buys you security. Investing money buys you options. The earlier you connect those two things using savings as your foundation and investing as your engine, the more financial freedom becomes a realistic outcome rather than a distant fantasy. If this breakdown helped shift something for you, go ahead and subscribe. And I want to hear where you're at right now. Are you still in the saving stage, building that foundation? Or have you already made the move into investing? Drop it in the comments. Because the moment your money stops just sitting there and starts actively working, that's when everything begins to change.